What up? It's your boy Big Facts here with the homie. Let everybody know who this is, man.
Well, my name is Achilles.
Yeah.
Corvinus. You can find me on Instagram, Achilles, Achilles, Korvinus. It's together, no numbers, nothing like that. I've got my YouTube channel as well. The subscription to my link will be somewhere around here. It'll be on there. It'll be on the video.
Yeah, man. I've been knowing Achilles for over 10 years, let's say now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's been a minute, man. If you're not familiar with him, man, he's into a lot of different things. If you caught him on Instagram, then you know he posts a lot of motivational quotes. He also is big in fitness. He lets you know how to eat right, how to live right, how to get, you know what I'm saying? How to stay healthy, you know what I mean? So a lot of good information from him, man. We've been talking about touching base for over a year now, but man, let's get to it. So
he's been bugging me. So it's time, and it's been overdue.
Yeah.
It's been overdue. Let's get it. Let's go in.
Yeah, man. So the topic for today, man, we're gonna talk about distractions, man. You know, a lot of people have goals. They try to push towards their goals. They never get started on their goals, or in the middle of their goal, they get distracted or discouraged. So, man, we just want to talk about that a little bit. Ways that you can try to avoid distractions, ways that you can overcome distractions, and just some different ways that, you know, my man Achilles goes about doing, man. So first and foremost, man, what are some of the ways that you avoid distractions?
The way that I avoid distractions is I just stay focused. I stay focused. I vision it, and it's a 24/7 thinking about it and actually doing it and making it happen. It all started I've always been focused just even as a kid. I didn't start playing football till I was in the 5th grade, but before that I was already working out. I used to watch the dude on TV. He used to be in the morning. He used to come in on the weekends. He'd be in the beach with the curly hair and march. I'd be in there getting it, push-ups, hitting it up, you know it. And my grandma was a janitor. Okay. So when we'd get up in the morning, I'd have to walk to school. I would go down to the field house. I'm in there doing leg press. This is like 2nd grade. Cause and then, cause I was like, man, my thighs would be burning throughout the day. I'd go to recess and I'm playing Frisbee. Man, my legs is burning. The leg presses, but I've always been big into working out and bettering myself. And it all started I've just always been focused. And once I started playing football, that's what I wanted to do. So that's everything I did every day. I just worked myself towards that goal.
Now, do you think working out and keeping your body in shape is directly connected to like your mentality and how you think?
Absolutely, yeah, because that's something that I have control over. So I will let nothing or anyone or anything distract me from my goals at all. Even when we were growing up, you know, the stuff that we would have to use, especially I really don't like using the word black, because I believe that everything is just energy. You know, Those are just titles. I'm not gonna limit myself on what somebody created for me to think what I am. You know what I mean? Because I don't consider myself black, because if I do, that means I gotta go by the definitions of the terms of the person that made the word black.
Yeah.
So now I'm limiting myself. I'm not on that, but to grow up in an environment, to be exposed to racism and being shown history that you're really not anything and all that, even mentally, to disassociate myself from that mentally says enough in itself.
Yeah.
So if that didn't stop me then, what can stop me now? You know, even not to mention the condition that I grew up in my home anyways, but that didn't stop me, let alone everyone's went through something. Everyone's went through something, some kind of traumatic experience when you were younger. So if that didn't, and you're here and you're living and breathing. So if it didn't stop you then nothing should be stopping you. But the only thing that stops us is our mental and what we tend to give energy to. I believe that there are no distractions until we say it's a distraction.
Okay, so you don't even believe that distractions exist. It's something that we create for ourselves.
Absolutely, and we all do that, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, the news. They're creating something for you to be so-called distracted, but it's not a distraction until you give your energy to it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's the way that it works. And that's the way that I see things. So, because if you want to change and if you want to be your best, I can't be worried about what Will and Chris is doing. I can't be worried about, let's put it this way. I don't stress myself about things that I don't have control over. The only thing that I've got control over is how I respond and how I live my life. That's it. You know, so I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and debate, which everyone's gonna talk. There's nothing wrong with it. Everyone has talks and conversations, but I'm not gonna catch something off a channel to where it's gonna upset me for the rest of my day.
So basically you're saying you can be entertained by it,
yes,
but don't be emotionally invested in it.
There you go, because they know how the game works. Once our subconscious is very strong, you know it and I know that. Yeah. You could have your girl, y'all could be watching a movie, and you know it could be The Notebook, and watching it and then get to crying. It ain't real because it's a movie. Yeah. But the thing is, it taps into that subconscious. And once it taps into there, the subconscious doesn't know what's real or not.
Right.
So when you're watching that and you're looking, same thing. When you look at the news, when you look at this, once it taps, the whole goal is for them to tap into your 5 senses to get emotional response from you. But if you can observe something and you can watch it and then you can look at it and not have emotional response, that's fine. You know, like I can even say, you know, just to tap in on a little something. My mom was killed when I was 22. She was killed. Yeah, she was killed and she was shot by a cop. So with all that going on in that, I had to go in. That's when I really started going in on my soul searching. And you know, the big ordeal, black, white, cops, all this and that, had to disassociate myself from that. But the way I learn is I look at that type of stuff to disassociate myself from it. I don't block it off. I don't hide it. I don't try to not look at it because you're not learning anything. And we are in the world. So in order to know about the world, you need to know the truth about the world and how the way the world is. To know that, but the only thing I needed to do was conquer myself and know who I was. Right. So once I did that, I'm good. I conquered my duality, my negativity, my demons, so to speak, and then I handled it and I'm able to move the way that I choose to move. Now, I would be a fool to go out here and think that everyone else would think the same, because that would be a problem. You get what because everybody else has their trials and tribulations and their own hells to go through. Right. And I'm aware of that because energy don't lie. The energy don't lie at all. And that's why everything is energy. Instead of judging people off of their color, what they got on, you know, how much money they're making, all that stuff is third dimensional stuff. It means absolutely nothing, but we've been taught since we were younger to go off of that.
Yeah. So I will do want to touch on one part where you say you're not black, but I want you to explain, because then they're gonna start thinking you like the OJ
Lord.
Simpson. I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is,
I want
you
to explain that in more detail to give people understanding what you're saying is you're not saying that you're not, you know, black, African American heritage.
Yeah.
That you're talking more about labels and titles.
Absolutely. And you know, in those labels and titles, people can get caught up in all of that, which we all do.
Yeah.
You are what you choose to be. I am the creator of my reality. Mentally. So I choose to be who I am. I'm Achilles for Venus. That's who I am. So it's really not that deep when we really go into saying that I'm not. All I know is that when we were born and we came here, everything was set up for us. Everything was. You're black, believe in this. You're white, Democrat, Republican, bad, good, Crips, blood. It's been all set up.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's not so much different than us calling the natives of the land Indians. You know what I mean? And even calling those, you know, Native Americans or natives, right? We're not even respecting that they're different tribes and calling them by the tribes that they're from. You know what I mean? We're not, you know what I mean? We're not saying that this is the Mohawk people or this is the Creek. You know what I'm saying? Or this is the Cherokee. We group them all into one group. You know what I mean? And we say that these are the natives. Same way with the blacks, right? You just say, well, they're black. Well, who said we're black, right? We're not called black in Africa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that we've lost so much of our heritage being over here. So now they tell us that we're black. They tell us that we're African American. They tell us that we're Negroes. You know what I'm saying? They give us titles and labels that we take and we go by. So just because you're not associating with that doesn't mean that you're disassociating from the race.
Absolutely.
Just saying you're disassociating from the titles that they give you. I just want to make that understand.
Yeah, y'all do. Yeah, they'll take it and run with it. And where I'm at with it is it's just all mental. That's what it is. Because in order for a person to change, they have to change their environment. But you have to change your environment mentally first. You have to change the way that you think. Think about it. When you do do some stuff and you'll look at something like, dang, I can't believe I did that, because you weren't in your right mind.
Right.
You know, and that's really what it's all about. We have to unlearn the things that we were taught that's not beneficial for us or serving us, and we have to use those things and create. You're not going to find it out here. You're going to have to go within yourself and create. I mean, you know, I did a video once, like, don't let what you see out here on TV be your limitations.
Right.
You can go above and beyond that, but you have to create it yourself.
Making a limited perception your reality, right?
Yes.
Because you're only making a perception of what you know and what you've seen, when the world's so much bigger than what you know of what you've seen. And you can't get that knowledge without going and finding that knowledge, because they're damn sure not going to teach it in school.
Oh,
right?
no.
And
everything that we know, it was either taught to us or we seen it.
Yeah.
To go above and beyond that, now you're gonna have to go in. Now you can look out here and you can get some ideas, of course, because that's where they all spark. Everything that we got everything out here that's in the physical, from this computer to this mic, was a thought first.
Yeah.
Somebody had thought it and then it was manifested. And all I'm saying is that when you use these labels that were already manifested for you to go in and be like, that's what I am, but you can be so much more. You can be so much more than what someone else is telling you, but you have to believe it first.
Right.
You have to, you have to believe it within yourself first. Set it up, whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like me, when I was doing football, I have pictures of football. I would watch it before I go to bed. It was 24/7. That's what it was. So I had to see it. So I was creating an altar. That's what I was doing. I had the symbols.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had the symbol, you know what I mean? The symbol, you see it, you see the Nike just do it automatic. Football, whoever was signed in under Nike then. But it was like I was creating my own reality, and I lived in that, and that's what I did.
Well, one thing you said, touching on, you're saying your mother being shot by the police and you having to deal with, not for lack of better words, your own demons inside. A lot of that probably took a lot of introspective, looking at yourself, looking inside yourself, facing yourself head on, asking yourself tough questions. I think a lot of that is what's missing today, especially in this social media world where we think that we can recreate ourselves or be who we think we are. And we don't even have friends. A lot of people don't have friends in their circle that even address them and call them out anymore, right?
Oh,
you
no,
got a lot of gaslighting and things like that. And so it's more important than ever these days to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, call yourself out. And if you're not going to be honest with anybody else, at least be honest with yourself. That's one thing that I had to go through in college, is just looking at myself, trying to understand myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, some people shy away from the bad parts of yourself, right? The thing, and you don't be honest with yourself about things that you're lacking, your shortcomings. You can't strengthen anything inside you if you don't recognize them first, right? So all the things you talk about manifesting, I can try to manifest, but if I don't know my weaknesses, how can I strengthen them? If I don't know I got weak biceps, why would I work biceps?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So a lot of building in yourself and facing yourself is being honest, like brutally honest with yourself. I always tell people, like, in school, nobody can really hurt my feelings when they're clowning me, because like, you can't tell me I got a big nose. I know I got a big nose. Yeah. You know what I mean? That ain't gonna be something that you give me, but you gotta know yourself, and I think that's missing. But with all that said, when you talked about looking inside yourself and facing your demons, like, what was the hardest part of that for you?
Well, the hardest part, which anything would, when you go through losing a loved one, it's always, the question is why.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's just it was that, but that took me on to always just a deeper journey, like to be able to understand things, understand this world, understand people, and as far as the demons wise, it was just not being negative, not being down about things. Because I had a younger brother too as well, which I didn't tell you, but I was 5, he was 3. He passed away of spinal meningitis. We were little, we were outside playing. He was drinking from a bottle that was out by the trash can. And then I remember I told him, I said, don't drink from that. Then that night, he started getting a fever, running a fever. Then he was sick the next day. Then like 2 days later, he had passed.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? So, but I was a lot younger then, but I've experienced that loss, so much loss at such an early age, it gives you a different perspective and view on life. And not to mention when I was raised by my grandmother, because if it wasn't for her, I probably would have been in DHS.
Yeah.
She raised me. I was on my own when I was like 6. She had 2 jobs. She's holding it down. You know what I mean? Like everybody, those goddesses raised me the way that I needed to be raised. But me being on my own and being at those times and going through things and seeing as it goes, you grow up fast.
Right.
You know what I mean? But to be able to comprehend, I wasn't bitter, I wasn't angry. You know what I mean? I wasn't any of that now. But when my mom had, you know, when she got shot and, you know, hearing about how everything was and it didn't make any sense, yeah, that made me think. It was just like, man, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. But I came through too much already to be set back on something like that. So that made me focus more, but all in that. And then, you know, as I started going on and started feeling things more, she's still here with me. Yeah. All I gotta do is close my eyes and I see her. You know what I mean? Yeah. And thinking about it, she ain't with nowhere. I just can't see her on this 3rd dimensional plane. Right. So really, I haven't lost anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hadn't lost anything. You know, and even my grandmother, she passed away in 2021. She had kidney failure. You know, wait a minute, in 2020. Okay. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, she passed away. And, you know, that's the goddess of them all there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so for me to go through and see how strong she was and raise 5 kids and then raise at least 4 to 5 generations of kids, that's my hero. Yeah. You know what I mean? And my mom, once she got her life together, that was my hero too. You know what I mean? It wasn't on TV. You know, I could look up to some of the guys on there, but those were my, you know, my examples.
Real life struggle.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So when someone, to come up, and they don't let it be off subject, but when they tell you something about white privilege, that doesn't even exist in my world considering what I went through. Yeah, I made through all that. Do you think I'm gonna sit here and say somebody's better than me or has an advantage of me because they color their skin? See, now we playing. Yeah. Now you creating things for something, and then I'm gonna put some stuff on TV to get a reaction out of you. No, I've been through it firsthand. I know. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know if I didn't let that shake me there, then it ain't nothing or nobody can do to me that can shake me out here at all. You know, I mean, unless you co-sign it, just like a distract. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a distract. You have to give your energy to something to give it. You know, you have to give your energy to something for it to exist. You first have to believe in it.
Yeah.
You have
to. You know? That's true because that's the big argument. Even when you see like black people talking to white people and white people saying that white privilege doesn't exist, because I think white privilege is systematic, right? It's not inside a person. Like they may have it and not know they have it because it's the system set up. It's not necessarily the person. Now, some people, some of them do walk around and think that they're superior. That's white supremacy, right? That's them having the feeling that they're superior over people. But white privilege is more of systematic in structures because of things that's been set up for 300 years against us that they just benefit from and don't know it. It's not necessarily in a person. So definitely get what you're saying there. But I mean, just moving on. I mean, even though the fact that like we're on a platform, right? We're on social media. Yeah. And then we have to kind of clarify things because everybody's understanding and comprehension of things are different. Anybody can take something and run with it. That's why you look at people like Donald Trump and people like Kanye West, right? Yes. That they get on there and they talk and say things. So I was looking at something on Instagram the other day and it said something to the effect of when we view things and we judge things based on our personal understanding and knowledge and not from the understanding and knowledge of the person that's going through it or saying, right? Because there's different levels. Something that Kanye might know is something that we might not be privileged to. So when he's on a rant, we can say it's easy to say that he's crazy. It's easy to say that he's insane, but he has knowledge that we don't know of a system that we don't even know, right? Yeah. So we don't know how crazy he is and how much truth he's giving us, and that's kind of the game that the system plays. But it's a PR game too, right? So I kind of respect, even though I don't have to agree with everything that they say, but I can respect the fact that they speak their mind unapologetically. Love it. What do you think about that?
Love it. I love it. You know, every time I hear Kanye West, if he say they be crazy, I like that. You know, and even like I say, and I'm in it to where I say that I like it. I say, take the good from things. Take the simple fact for him to get up and speak how he speaks. And we're not saying that you should speak the same way that he speaks, just for him to have the confidence enough to do it. Because people lack confidence. And let's flip that other side of the coin. For Donald Trump to get up there and say the things he said, I'm not gonna call him a racist. I don't know you. You know what I mean? But I know how they do in the news, and they'll cast stuff and they'll say it out. Oh, my black friend. I'm not caught up in that. I can observe things and not take things personal. But for him to get up there and say the things that he said and just act the way he acts, you mean tell me you can't take the good from that and be, see the confidence in that, and then take it and then be confident in yourself to stand and execute your goals and that, but you're not going to be able to do it if you're too busy watching somebody judge it.
But that goes back to what you're saying, being emotionally attached to everything, right?
Yes.
And everybody's words affect you emotionally. So me personally, like, I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I wasn't a Donald Trump fan when he was claiming he was Democrat, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't a Donald
Even
Trump
when the
fan.
rappers was rapping.
Right.
Yeah,
I wasn't a Donald Trump fan when people liked him and he was on movies. Like, you gotta remember that this is something new, that people don't like Trump, but he's been an asshole for years. Trump is more of a classist, right? He looks down on everybody. Trump is from New York. He's a New Yorker. He's a classist. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, purple. If you're from the South, he thinks you're an idiot. He thinks you're below him. So you can think that he's looking out for you by race. Trump doesn't like you because he thinks you're a dummy because you're from the South, right? He's gonna do whatever is best for him. He's a billionaire. He's a classist, and he's gonna use people for whatever. If the racists are backing him, then he's gonna be a racist. If the black people are backing him, you know what? He's gonna get an HBCU some money. Because he doesn't care. Yeah. Anybody that's praising him. Yeah. So I definitely agree with that. Kanye is I like Kanye's thoughts. I like the fact that he freely speaks it. I think the problem with Kanye is the contradictions, right? And the amount of power that you have. I do like that he speaks freely with confidence, but I don't like when someone has that much power and they contradict themselves so much. You kind of don't know what they stand for. You don't know what they stand on. What he tells you today can be completely different tomorrow. And he has so many people that follow him, which I know what you're saying, you should have your own mind.
When it comes to that,
yeah. But a lot of people don't.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he can sway a lot of people.
Where the wind blow, they go,
right.
Over there, he's going.
Yeah.
And
it's just too much power for him to just be saying reckless stuff. It's like me, I can get up, wake in the morning, just say some bullshit, say something else, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Kanye has to recognize the power that he has and know that his words, so he can't wake up on one of his rants and say, one thing, it didn't say another, right? But I'm also a fan of free speech, people talking. I don't want to censor anybody. Like, I don't think Trump should have his Twitter taken away. I'd rather people tell me they're racist.
Yeah, that ain't a big deal.
You know what I mean? Than the hidden racism. Like, I don't want to take people's Twitter. I don't want to take people's freedom of speech away. I want people to talk freely, right? Be real.
Yeah.
Be authentic.
Yeah.
That's what I want more than anything. More than you not being racist, because you're never gonna stop racism. You're never gonna stop classism. You look at the history of the world. It's always existed in some form.
Yeah, Hitler. The thing is, Hitler was they were killing people because of blonde hair and blue eyes, and so what I'm getting at is like all of it's made up. It's just what people just choose to vibrate on. Like, I'm from Alma. You know what I mean? Alma, love it, wouldn't change nothing. Only black kid on the football team. I've had, you know what I mean? So when it comes to that race stuff, it's not even, like I say, I just take it as everything as energy. That's what I take it as, because as well as I know, we got people that has our skin tone that'll look at us like they got a problem. Yeah. And then they'll be judging us based on, but that's an internal thing. And that's just where I'm at with it. You're not gonna be able to grow getting caught up on racism, black, white, worrying about what Donald Trump's doing, Will Smith, all that. For me, it's all an internal transformation to become a better you. When you move like that, you don't really get caught up in this stuff that's going on out here. And that's just, you know what I mean? That's just, and then you're reinventing yourself. You're breaking the chains of the mental bondage that they put you in. That's black, white, whatever you want to call it. That's any and everybody. But like I say, it all started when we were younger, and what to believe in, what we consumed with, what our parents taught us, how we went in. And it was just like, I'm not here to argue or debate about the things that they did back then. Something has to change. And the only way it's going to change is if you change as individuals here first. That's the only way. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That would be like me. I'm a foster parent. That'd be like me getting my boys, hey boys, come on over here. We're gonna go change the world, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. They don't know who they are. They have to know who they are as individuals first. None of it matters. You know what I'm saying? None of it matters until you do that. Because at the end of the day, all you're gonna be doing is arguing. And that's when they're gonna be flexing ego, and it's gonna get back and forth and go back. No one wants to, and then that's when it's gonna have problems. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's such a low frequency, because we've got technology. We can do this and that. We can click information at a snap of a finger and get it, but no one's upgrading their mind. Everybody's upgrading cars, phones, getting new clothes,
getting new bodies.
And the way, let's put it this way. If you aren't anything mentally before you obtain anything, then you ain't gonna be anything when you get it. Yeah, that's real. And the thing is, it's only gonna be a matter of time before you lose it. That's a relationship. That's a job. That's the money. None of that external stuff matters. It's all third dimensional. You know what I mean? And really, that's all you're moving off of is the ego. But when you move from the soul, and you move like that, and you touching people's souls and helping them become a better version of them by them watching you and by you being the example in the flesh, that's the best thing ever. You know what I mean? That's the best thing ever. That's why, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, man. That's deep, man. I think that's going to be a good point to end on. I mean, basically, the main points from this is, don't get distracted, take away the negative energy from your distractions, bring in the positivity, educate your mind, learn, know yourself, and operate from a positive standpoint. And don't just believe what you see. Learn for yourself, know yourself. And once you know yourself, you can form your own opinions. You can be your own person.
Yes.
Right?
And use it as fuel. There's always going to be negative and positive. If you know the laws of polarity, look it up. It will always be that. But you just need to be able to, what comes your way, use it as fuel, use it as energy. I could have looked at the way I grew up, could have been easily, took the bad route, went to jail, blamed so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Nah, we don't do that. You know what I mean? And especially when I was younger, my mom and my grandmother always taught me, mind my business. Yeah. When you mind your business, then things get out of grown folks' business. Get about my mouth. Yeah. That helped me to, as I got older, to why am I even worried about what they do? Yeah. So the focus is on 120 all the time. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is, like I say, when you come out here, you're gonna have interactions with people, positive or negative. The thing is just don't take it personal, because you gotta flip. You gotta think from the psyche. They got stuff that they going through, and the only thing they're projecting out is what's going on inside of them.
And what you see on social media is not real. And that's one of the biggest things is we're living in this social media world right now. And they're talking about the meta universe and how this is going to change everything. We're already living in the meta universe. Most of the transaction and information that we get is on social media, right? And it's not regulated. We don't know what's real. We don't know what's fake. People are literally reinventing themselves on the internet. Right. And the only thing that's going to change with that is avatars. And we're almost there now with the filtering systems that we have, the way that you can disguise voices and make yourself a whole new person on there. The only thing that the metaverse is going to change is you're going to have a whole new avatar on there to actually speak, right? Because this already coming through as written messages. The only difference is going to be people speaking. We have to understand the things that we see on social media, that's not real. That's not real life. That's not the real world. And that's where it comes into knowing yourself and not being emotionally attached to what people say or what people do, and knowing what's real and knowing what's fake, knowing what's authentic, knowing what's not, and taking in only positive energy, right? You don't have to take it in negativity. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to give it any of your energy. Stay positive.
That's it. And check yourself, because you got duality. You got two of you. You say one's bad or good, but at the end of the day, it's all perspective. Just make sure you got control over yourself and how you respond to things. Move how you want to move, but make sure it's beneficial for you and it serves you.
All right, tell the people where they can find you at again, man.
Find me again, Achilles Corvinus on Instagram, AchillesKorvinus. My YouTube channel, the link will be somewhere around here on the bottom of the one. I've always wanted to say that, now I'm saying it. Yeah, now go on in there and you can subscribe. Man.
All right, and I'm your boy Big Facts. You can find me YouReedMe Network on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Bobby Reed. YouTube, I'll have the link on there. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm always down for some conversation. But yeah, man, we'll be back with you with more content like this, and make minding your business great again. Peace.
Yippee.